I want to take this opportunity just really briefly to thank all of y'all for coming out today, and especially to thank JASA, and to thank everyone who worked throughout the pandemic to feed us, to make sure we were safe, to house us. My father-in-law, Arif, went to work at Wegmans every shift all throughout the pandemic to make sure there was foods on the shelf. JASA kept his restaurant open on Elmwood all throughout the pandemic to make sure that people had food on the shelves. Our cops showed up every day. Our transit workers showed up every day. My wife's an ER doctor. She didn't miss a single shift throughout the pandemic. So just hats off to everyone who stepped up, who kept us going throughout the pandemic. Really, really want to thank them for that. And I got to call out the people who didn't step up during the pandemic, namely our politicians who continue to take a paycheck all throughout the pandemic, but didn't show up and do stuff for us. The state senators only have to work 60 days out of 365. They get 305 vacation days. You'd think they could have shown up for those 60 days for the last couple of years in order to make sure that this state was running properly in the times of turmoil, but they didn't. They stayed home and they phoned it in from a laptop. But other people are the real heroes of the pandemic, the people who stood up. And I got to tell you a little anecdote about what happened to some of the people who played by the rules, who stayed open, who did everything they could to keep us going through the pandemic. JASA was separated from his brother. His brother was over in India when this all started. He couldn't get back over here, so JASA was forced to run his restaurant basically by himself. I would go in there to get to-go orders in the early months of the pandemic. JASA would be back in the kitchen. He'd be running the cash register. He'd be running food out to people. But he kept doing it, and he kept doing it, and he kept doing it. And finally, JASA needed just a little bit of help. He heard, hey, there's this government program out there. All I got to do is ask for some relief from the government. They're going to help me out. And that's great. Well, the problem is everyone who already closed their restaurant, they didn't have anything else to do. They could make an appointment, go down to the bank, they could get the money. JASA didn't have that luxury to just walk to the bank. He was running his business almost full-time and almost by himself. So when he finally was able to make an appointment with Key Bank, that's his bank, they told him, we're sorry. We already gave out all the loans we can. So he called another bank. He called M&T Bank, and they said, oh, well, you don't have an account with us. We can't help you. And to me, that's kind of part and parcel of what's been going on in the state right now. The people who play by the rules almost feel like schmucks because a lot of people aren't playing by the rules. And the people who play by the rules don't always get ahead. It used to be work hard, you'll get ahead. But now it almost seems like break the rules, cut corners, cheat, you'll get ahead. We've got a system in place right now with this no cash bail where you can basically go out, steal any car you want, take it for a joyride. They're going to arrest you, but they're not going to do anything. They're going to give you a little piece of paper, and they're going to say, pretty please come to court. So the rest of us who are working hard, who are playing by the rules, you look around and you say, well, why am I working hard? Why am I playing by the rules if everyone else isn't? So I want to be the kind of leader who's going to find a way to reward hard work, that's going to reward the people who are playing by the rules. And we're going to have to really crack down on the people who are not playing by the rules. So don't want to get too into the weeds about politics tonight because tonight we're having fun. Again, just really want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.